Possibly you come to think that launching an unprovoked attack and then mystifying various reasons why to puzzle people and claim that it was provoked is a pastime primarily of superpowers you can come to expect from the US and Russia. But this is a story of how it was done by the United Nations itself with the blessings of the monarchist democracy that had the daring do to think it all up. I'll tell you the specific fact that they defend. A student teacher um, entered into a courtship with a student journalist and took me home. She spoke of a roommate. One thing led to another, and in the morning she told me she had a husband who mysteriously was away that night. I broke it off with her. I didn't think that that was funny. Turns out, not only that a right-wing gang was making movies of it at Carnegie Mellon University, who were white and outrageously open about being sympathetic to the Ku Klux Klan, but they had been hired by Israelis, and further, it was miraculously decreed that it was an assault on the sacred image of the imperial black man because she was from India. And her marriage of convenience was an upperclassman in graduate school for nuclear information from Pitt, who schemed up the Federal Emergency Management Agency. And from there, they buzzardly moved to set up a Licky Chops camera, demanding sexual access to Asian women in the name of a hostage white who they tortured and castrated and filmed in the Mount Desert Island laboratory as a suicide object lesson in the AIDS attack after kidnapping me and gassing me in a place called Kings Estate, which WQED's NAACP leadership called a provincial norm, to take a battered, traumatized 13-year-old into triple X movies and do various unspeakable things that would violate the laws of decency in the state of Washington for me to discuss. Yet they demand rewind so they can lick each other. What they did to me when I was 9 years old. And they say that I speak out of turn. Well, they lie about me as a deaf hostage of their case management. So, in other words, this woman didn't have, in their view, the human right to have, in an arranged, unhappy marriage of convenience, a college affair. She didn't have the human right to do that. Rather, it was a violation of all that is true and good. It was a devaluation of the black man. It was proof of the supremacy of the Ku Klux Klan's oath of chivalry. It was a blood oath and death vow to hair, to vow immolation in the name of a gang that Yoko Ono, while funding, claims killed John Lennon. You could see that. She's been doing everything. You look at my computer. They constantly impinge the police society, cyber tampering, to cue me as to who is murdering Cersei Kennedy. It's always Ono and um, signifiers of the Jewish gang, threatening to kill this person, threatening to kill that person, raping Deaf Genie, stabbing Shannon Harps. Now, the police psychiatry closed ranks. They said, oh, he speaks out of turn at the clubhouse. The deaf man has something to say and he speaks out of turn. And he has genetic schizophrenia, which is what they call a brutal act of torture, leaving me neurologically damaged. And this gets rubber stamped by the police society. You can't walk into a courthouse and file a suit about it. You can't go to Dow Constantine's office and file a complaint about it. They just roll their eyes and say, oh, it's the bug man. Okay. So um, by wondering what was going on and playing into entrapment, I violated the black man's alliance with the Ku Klux Klan. And this claim has been used to evoke justification for the AIDS attack. And looky here, they poisoned me in the mouth and used COVID on everybody. So it's clear that they're trying to protect us. After all, they released AIDS and COVID. It was Tough Love Act. It was trying to protect us. And they don't want people to question that a brutally impacted neurological injury is anything other than genetic schizophrenia. And the proof of it is that back in 1994, after Midori Goto came prancing for the Diva Corporation, we're going to collect on our hit jobs. And they miraculously had a whole list of women who they had hired to sleep with me. They said, not until these pimps are compensated for the pussy ball ledger, for the ledger that we have created. Not until the examples have been satisfied will you be free from the torments of this woman's laws, because they were inflicting seizures using neurology. Seizures is not a normal symptom of genetic schizophrenia. But you have these people tell you what to believe. It becomes true because you believe it. So everybody knows what's to believe, and therefore, presto, it becomes true. So we know what's true because you believe it. So you will never believe what I have to say. There's no point in my saying it. I'll say it anyway, but that proves I speak out of turn, even though nobody's listening. I speak out of turn. That proves I'm pushy. And that proves that virginity proves right because I backed off at the virgin line. I was hiding a guilt complex. It's their claim, espionage. And it's true because they think it is true. It's not just like Bush or Trumpy Tune says, I'm president, snaps his fingers, and behold, it becomes true in a puff of smoke. So she crash lands, and I hear this whistle, and this voice says ultra high up in the sky, but it's coming in through the mind. And a key snaps right out of my hand. Whoop, snapped right out of my hand into nowhere. And these miracles came with the announcement of Pentagon Disney's agency with Midori Goto in 1994, at the time when I discovered the letters of Gail Burse and opened the black blood letter in front of witnesses because the courts wouldn't allow me to approach the courts. I was arrested for defiant trespassing for scheduling an appointment with the law school. Okay, so we know what the mindset of the Teamsters Union, the Kublackery is. They, make licky chops films justify pornographic genocide, say that this kid who we tortured as a child and said the only way he will go free is if he does what he's told, and then, concentrate on the pleasure, not on the pain stuff. And they were circulating these songs that there was going to be another ice age while making songs, Here Comes the Flood. What does that tell you? They knew that virginity doesn't prove right. They knew that there wasn't going to be another ice age because an ice age isn't going to cause a flood. But they're pushing the deluge to further depopulate the clans what AIDS and COVID didn't cleanse, so they can redistribute equity. And equity to them is one of each. We'll picky, choosy, one of each. And they say because we got you to sleep with a woman from India, that satisfies your paradigm, your race paradigm. Therefore, I, the black man, get to take out a white, and this is their mindset. They don't evaluate anything that's truthful, or to them, it's all push button symbolism that makes sense to their war game PlayStation. It's like a bizarre fight club that comes from the Green Party. And it's monarchist democracy because monarchs is about the important people. The important people survive and everybody agrees to it. They're eliminated by lottery. Okay, so that's where we all stand. Nobody's speaking out, nobody's helping me. That's where everybody stands. May not be where I stand, but it's where everybody else appears to stand. And they lick each chops that two virgins means death by AIDS. Okay, so everybody knows that they're defending virtue. They're defending virtue. No, no, anyone can see that they're defending virtue. So, who are these moral imposters? Well, you're supposed to be able to confront your accuser. They don't. They wear a hood. That is their first name. Like Clint and Aaron come around in hoods. That is their first name. It's the Clint and Aaron people. Don't say Eastwood and Dixon because you don't know. It could be Ronnie and Casper, Eastwood and Dixon, and that's not the same. And this is how they operate in their cloak and their hoods. They won't tell the truth about any of it. Dixon put in Lady Panthers around the pit news when they pulled this heist. And they murdered my father, who was senior faculty. But no, he was more than senior faculty. He was a presumptuous white. And the people who went after him publicly were in the KKK, and they were saying things to me like, "If you try to help black people, they will only turn on you." And a woman from India is an honorary the black woman, and like Maduri Goto is an honorary the black woman. Like any woman who sleeps with a black man is an honorary the black woman. And this is how the union has created a situation of sexual extortion that they call equity. It's an equity scythe system from the monarchy of democracy, the important people. And if you presume to have any self esteem, you will play dead and walk like a zombie and live like a zombie and never allow anyone to get anything on you that they can come and collect through organized brutality syndicates. And the whole mentality of it is they stake out the bank because they say, I'm going to make a penny. And they rip and murder Shannon Harps over a penny. And the subtext of all of this is that it's important that they do that because we are, after all, talking about genocide. We are. What makes you think that? The only evidence that we're talking about genocide is the production system that they cooperated in, a pornographic genocide. Shh, that's not what we mean. What does you mean? We mean we get the money. That's what we mean. Oh, so it's genocide, but it isn't genocide because you get the money. It's not genocide because you get the money, but it is genocide if you don't get the money. No, and who are the perpetrators of genocide? Well, you can work that out easily enough. The Crow Hagrid goes to Iran. I mean, Yoko Ono is in a bond of mutuality with the Alamo forces who created a pyre of themselves, lit themselves on fire. The Burning Buddha show, they called themselves with a laugh. The Burning Buddha. Let's have a barbecue, they were saying. Bobby Seale was saying, let's have a barbecue. What are they, these people denied oxygen? Do they know something that maybe they should be warning people about? No, sir. No, sir. Don't say that. You're thick as a brick to say that. And then they say, build momentum up to presto, COVID. Oh, 6 feet apart or 6 feet under, presto, COVID. And the heroes of the story are the Israelis who wrote the script to make money for Yoko Ono. Yoko Ono is working with the Israelis who she claims killed her husband, and that's not a paradox. It's a sacred perplex of lovey-doveyness. It's love almighty altruism. It's fulfillment of the pledge to give all the money to Donald Trump and his cohorts. It's the fulfillment of your belief system. It's what you want to do. Work with Franklin Graham at the Devil and Mrs. Jonestown. This is what you want to do, and that's the nature of reality. So, University of Pittsburgh is no different than Putin's Russia. It's a tyranny, and it's an invisible tyranny. At least in Putin, you can say you see who it is. It's Putin with some frontmen like Lavrov. The Pitt, it's an invisible hand. You're not even allowed to. Don't say Clinton Aaron. Those are the men under the hood. Which Clinton Aaron? Did you say Clint Casper and Sin Clint? Those are different. Those are different. You can't say, you go ahead and say that because those are different. Nobody understands what that means. But they'll follow you on the bus and leave worms on and do all of these other torments to indicate that you have been pigeonholed. Yes, you have, by King Thoros, who needs you to play a role in the hamster mosaic.